Yep, what up? You know what it is, baby? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. I got my co-host Kenya in the building with me. What's going on?
Oh, I'm happy to be here with our guests today.
For the feature presentation podcast, we're blessed with incredible actress, beautiful. She's in a show right now that's absolutely amazing. We got the privilege of seeing a few episodes. She's standing by right next to Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
You want to introduce yourself? You want to introduce her?
Oh, hi. Do I have to introduce myself?
You can,
Oh,
Maida.
hi. I'm Maita Golding. Hello. Hi.
Nice.
And Maida, this is your first official podcast.
This is my very first official podcast.
Really?
Yes. So please be gentle and kind. You have to treat me like
All right, let me erase some of these questions.
yeah.
No,
but I listen to a lot of podcasts, but this is my very first time being on a podcast, and I feel very honored to have it with you.
Well, today we're going to focus on Rabbit Hole. We want you to come back so we can focus on a lot of other things in your career.
Okay.
But talk to us about Rabbit Hole, like, because it's absolutely it's amazing. It's based on manipulation, and it's based off of lies and deceit and corporate America.
Yes.
And it sounds like some of the corporations I work for today. So describe the show.
Well, we're in this technology. We're in the age of technology, and I think the show is talking about the effect of that on us as human beings. It takes place in the world of corporate espionage, and Kiefer Sutherland is the lead, and I'm the female lead, and he plays a corporate spy who manipulates data. And as we all know, because we live in this technological age, our data, when we pick up the phone, when we're on the internet, is constantly being mined and used to manipulate us. And that's the world that the show takes place in. And so, that's what it is.
How would you describe your character, Haley? Would you say she's, because I know this show flips so many times, would you say she's an honest individual? She a manipulative individual? What is her relationship with Keith's character?
John Weir.
John Weir.
Yeah, so Haley, she's not dishonest, but she's not honest.
Sounds like my exes. What does that even mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the question. It's like, how well do you know someone? And everybody has secrets. And what was so fascinating about the character is that she seems like a regular schmegular lawyer, professional woman who is trying to online date and meets this man. And her life blows up, but she's not actually who she seems. She's not an innocent bystander. And as the series unfolds, you'll find out many different things. I mean, I'll just say this. It's in the world of espionage.
Yes.
So, which is fascinating to play as an actor because it's so multi-layered,
Definitely. So you get the script for the first time and you're reading through it. Was it what you initially thought?
No. So I get the script for the first time, and as you'll see from the first episode, I thought it was like a Kiefer Sutherland dating situation, like I was like, okay, love interest, here we go. Okay, Kiefer, okay. And then I keep reading the script because it's a real page turner, and I'm like, oh, it's not, that's just the in. Like, that's just how you enter it. Like you enter it, or from my character's perspective, you kind of enter it thinking it might be like a romantic vibe, but it completely blows up. So I just couldn't believe like what was going on. And also I read it during the pandemic, and there were so many conspiracy theories that were happening, and the show is about conspiracy theories. So I just was surprised at what the bigger issues of the show were tapping into, because it was stuff that I just naturally am interested in.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you that. I was about to say, are you into conspiracy theories before this show? And what kind of conspiracy theories were you into that excited you to be like, oh, wow, I got to do this?
Well, it's not that I'm into conspiracy theories, but, like, where did, COVID come from? Like, what is, American corporations, like, what are they doing around the world? I don't know that those are conspiracy theories, but there are definitely a lot of theories about society and corporations and the flow of money and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a whole nother podcast episode.
It is. It is.
But yeah, so if you're interested in those kind of things, I
Yes.
think it's a show that will pique those kind of conversations.
And this is a different type of project for Kiefer too, because typically, like, he's legendary and has played like kind of a American like hero. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's playing someone who's dealing with mental illness. We don't know if it's paranoia. You know, I don't know if you guys have like a cut. I know I do. If my family is listening to this, I'm not talking about you, but I do I do know some people who you don't know if they're just paranoid or if it's a mental illness. So he's playing somebody who's dealing with that, but also he was always the hunter, you know, and now he's playing the hunted. Even though it's still in the same kind of thriller action genre, it's a different side of him.
Yeah.
How is it working with Kiefer, man? He's so legendary. How was the selection for you for this role? Like, did you meet him, or like explain the whole entire process?
So I was working on something else, and I was in Atlanta. It was still the pandemic, and my agents were like, "Oh, Kiefer Sutherland's doing this show, da 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 da," and they sent me the script. And like I said, I was like, "Okay, date," and then it wasn't. But I was really busy. I was playing a schizophrenic, so I was just really in my process, and I was like, "I don't have time right now," and they kept badgering me, and then I really just laid it down, just, you know, put it out. And I thank my team because I was just a little too distracted with what I was going into. But I loved the script. They liked my tape and they said, come in and do a chemistry read with Kiefer. And this was when I don't think I'd been in person with people in a couple years, like literally an audit. Like I had to COVID test, all these things, and just came in and nice to meet you. And we just had this immediate, I guess, chemistry, or we just went at, like, it was the first time I met him, the scene was a fight. And we just fought really well together, I guess. And it was just kind of that was it.
Yeah. What is a chemistry test like?
Well, you go in, you're like, okay, I got to meet this person and I got to audition with this person. And you know, as an actor, I'm always just trying to stay in character, but I also know that in the scene, these two people have this connection. And so I don't know, you can't really fake it. You just either have it with, you know, when you meet a friend or just somebody that you just vibe with, it's kind of the same thing. Like, but it's like it's, you know, hello, nice to meet you. And then they call action and there's either magic or there isn't.
Right.
And I don't know how to
Fake it.
or how that happens or anything.
Well, speaking of fighting very well, she looked at me like, yo, what were you about to ask? You studied Krav Maga. For this, which is absolutely amazing. I was sitting here saying she doesn't feel like she's intimidating. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because people who know Krav Maga have a certain walk to them. They have a certain energy. You know what I'm saying? You could tell that they could whip some ass. So basically, I guess what I'm asking is, how was the Krav Maga process? How did you train? And can you whip some ass right now?
Yeah, so I went to a Krav Maga studio because we shot in Toronto, and I trained with a whole bunch of Krav Maga people. There's a whole community. Krav Maga is Israeli self-defense technique, which I think is awesome, especially for women to know this self-defense, because it teaches you how to. It's not just
more for real life situations.
Yeah,
like it's not like, you know, karate. You might not use it as much as Krav Maga,
right?
It's from what I understand.
Yeah, it's for real life. If somebody's attacking you, how to stop them and get out of the situation. Like literally how to poke somebody's eye, like where the points are in somebody's body that you can just put them down. So it's super intense, but it's really fun. I also, there was the stunt team that helped me a lot, but like I was sore the whole time. I really worked very hard. But I don't know, every job you kind of pick up new skills. And I'm glad I had
What was your
that.
fighting knowledge before? I'm sorry, because it's going a whole different direction. What was your fighting knowledge before these Krav Maga classes?
Well, a certain somebody was in the Hunger Games, and
That's
I
true.
was Enobaria. I don't know if you know who she is, but Enobaria's a badass. But this is a while ago. This is a decade ago. So I learned that stunt team. Chad's, what is Chad's last name? I can't remember Chad's last name, but he's now the director of the John Wick films. He used to be Keanu's stunt double in The Matrix.
Okay.
So that team that did all of the fighting in The Matrix,
Which is some of the best fighting scenes ever.
absolutely, I feel like they changed the game in terms of how action is filmed. That's who trained me for that, but that was a while ago. But I've always been physical, but it's just Krav Maga is like, they teach you how to fight dirty, which you kind of need on the street
In life.
in life.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
Well, no,
Kenya?
because you, as a woman, you have to be strong. We have to do so many different things that men just don't have to do a lot of the time.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like disciplines like that really help us,
Yes.
right, to empower us and give us confidence and take control of a situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And speaking of women and being a woman of color, I know you come from a Haitian background.
I do.
Nice.
So how does that feel to represent your culture in this industry with your craft?
Well, I think that it is about time. I think that I'm so grateful to be part of this industry. I'm so grateful to represent, but at the same time, I think it's almost bittersweet because I'm like, the fact that we even have to say like, oh, wow, you get to represent, like it should just be. So yeah.
That's good. That's good.
How can? Do you remember the Will Smith movie Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman?
Yeah. I don't. Yes.
What was a movie based off of technology and the way it affects our, real life situations? And I just want to know how, like, especially compared to a movie like that, how can you explain that this show relates to real life when it comes to technology and when it comes to, being aware of what's going on? Like, you can't even talk into an iPhone right now without it giving you ads based off of the conversation you just had.
Absolutely.
So this whole entire show is based off of, besides manipulation and spies and people not being who they really saying they are. It's based off of, the technology threats in the technology. So how can you say it relates to real life?
Well, I'll just say this. So in the 80s, during the Cold War, it was America versus Russia, right? And that was like all the spy movies and all were about that dynamic. But then now, today, instead of it being another country, it's technology versus people. And I think that, we're all like, I can't, at my hotel, I have to use my cell phone to get the menu for room service or whatever. So they're always collecting data. Every time you use your cell phone, somebody's buying your data so that they can send you, advertisements. So it completely relates to our everyday life. And also just being online. Anytime we go online, the little things, accept cookies, we're getting your information. So
We're definitely being like reconditioned into this new world that we're in. Yeah.
So, I guess it's been 25 years that's been happening, I think. All right. But now it just seems like it's more and more and more. And it's probably not going to change, but I just think it's good to, be aware.
Yeah, and that you're going to get a taste of that type of technology threat in this show. Paramount Plus, 2 episodes is released right now. And it's going to be releasing every
Sunday. So March 26th on Paramount Plus, we have 2 episodes. And then every Sunday, there's going to be a new episode, and there's going to be 8 episodes.
Is there anything? Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. It's very suspenseful too. Like it's very moving.
Yeah,
right?
it moves. Yeah,
it moves. So just like, how were you able to kind of keep up with those scene changes and like the movement and the pace of what was going on?
Yeah, it's fast paced. It's we met like explosions and fights and love scenes, and it's just exciting. For me, it was just like, this is what I live for. It is this kind of just fast paced, and the characters, you get to go from A to Z. It was just so much fun. We had so much
I was
fun.
just about to ask you, based off all your acting experiences, was this one of the top experiences for you?
Yeah.
I'm putting you on the spot because Paramount Plus people are here.
No, but it's a little bit like asking about like who's your favorite kid, because I don't want to like talk bad
Some
about
people would be like Josh, but
yeah. But yeah, it was one of my funnest times. And I mean, I also think we shot it in the pandemic. So I was coming out of a place where I was isolated, and just to be back in community and to be back like telling stories and to be back, it's just so fun. And our directors are amazing. They're film people. They did, Crazy Stupid Love. They did a film called Focus. They're also from the comedy world, Bad Santa. And they did, they're the executive producers of This Is Us. So they kind of have like heart but the way they shot it was so cinematic. We shot it like a movie, like an 8-hour movie. When you see it, it's just shot. If you're a cinema lover, it's a great watch from that perspective, because it's based on a lot of the 70s espionage films. If you're a film fan, I think you'll get into it.
I think this is what this is about. This whole podcast.
Yeah.
So what's next for Maida in your world? What's next besides Rabbit Hole? Is there anything else coming up?
After this, I just need to like take a break for a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Any traveling?
Yeah, I want to go to Paris. Paris, darling.
I mean, you've been to Paris, right?
I have.
Oh, okay.
But I want to go. I want to go back.
All right, cool.
Have you been to Paris?
Yeah, of course, plenty of
Isn't
times.
it
And
nice?
I DJ'd out there a bunch of times. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's colder than New York in the winter, but it's beautiful, and the food's good.
Yeah.
I have not been to Paris.
And maybe we need to do a girls trip or
That
something.
would be fun.
All right, let's get back to Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole right now, and we're going to plan the Paris trip for you guys. Rabbit Hole, once again, the first 2 episodes is out right now.
Yes.
It's released every Sunday, a new episode, and it's on Paramount Plus. And I just appreciate you for coming to the podcast, man, because we just launched this a month ago.
Congratulations. This is so exciting.
Thank you. I really love it, man, because I have a love for film in general. I wish I could watch all movies, but, I can only watch as much as I can.
What's your favorite movie?
There's too many movies.
One of your favorite movies.
This is going to sound corny. I really like horror movies from the 80s.
Oh, okay.
So I know this is kind of weird to say because it's not like these big special effect blockbuster movies.
You like what you like.
So New Line Cinema, not to bring up another company, was built off of the popularity of Freddy Krueger, and I really liked The Nightmare on Elm Street. One of my favorite movies. The original one.
I can't hit, I'm so delicate with horror movies. I get so scared.
I'm
Are
the
you
same
serious?
way.
Really?
Yeah.
Guys, we're
do.
adults here.
I know.
Yeah. I'm total opposite. Like, my favorite movie is Far and Away with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
How
So
can
like,
you say a favorite movie? There's a million movies out.
that's a one I can watch over and over and over again that like will never get played out for me. Like, I have other ones that I like, but like for me, I always like that one.
All right, well, I know Rabbit Hole's a thriller, but can we see you in a horror movie since you are so scared?
Probably. I'd probably be great in a horror movie because I really get scared.
But you wouldn't watch your own movie.
No. No.
All right, guys, let's close this down. Rabbit Hole. Make sure you go watch it. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely incredible story, action. What else can we say about
Espionage.
it?
A little romance in there.
Yeah.
A little humor.
Yeah, there is a little humor. He's very sarcastic.
It's a good blend of everything,
Keith's
I
character.
feel like.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
the
good.
things that you want to be entertained with.
Good. Yay.
All right, is there anything that you want to tell us about what's coming up that they're going to see? Just tell us the whole entire plot.
You're going to see suspense, and you're going to see a great espionage thriller that's about technology, and it's a mixed tone. So there's Charles Dance is in it. If you watch Game of Thrones, there's excellent actors. We've got great guest stars, and I hope you check it out.
They are going to check it out. We appreciate you for coming through. All right.
Yay!
Yes.
Thank you.
It's the Feature Presentation Podcast. Like we said, Rabbit Hole. Go check it out immediately on Paramount Plus.